the media community for answering the very urgent call of the Student Unification Party on today. The Vanguard Party is conducting this very emergency press briefing in response and reaction to the gross and flagrant disrespect shown to student leaders at the University of Liberia by the government of the Republic of Liberia. It will interest you to know that for almost 1 week or two, the Vanguard Party has been closed due to the government-owned recklessness to pay heed and proper attention to the affairs of the University of Liberia. And given that student leaders are also stakeholders at the university who play a very cardinal role in ensuring, and we keep playing a very cardinal role in ensuring that the education of the over 20,000 students of the university is prioritized and emphasis and premier is placed on them. And this is why the Vanguard Party immediately went ahead to give an elaborate press conference, creating a compelling need for the government to decisively intervene. And now, however, the Vanguard Party is detecting a level of gross disrespect to student leaders at the University of Liberia. This is why on this Saturday, the party has seen the very urgent need to have this press briefing, and the chairman of the Vanguard Student Unification Party is immediately going to address the over 20,000 students to inform them on very important obtainings at the university, how the party is making possible effort to restore their academic right in line with the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia. So, Comrade Chair, I present you to the media and the Liberian people to give the position of the party and how the GOL keep undermining the effort of student leaders in restoring the academic rights of the students of the University of Liberia.
Well, thank you very much, Commissioner Secretary General. Let me extend warm revolutionary greetings to the militants and stalwarts of the Vanguard Unification Party, and to also extend fraternal greetings to the men and women of the State Premier University of Higher Education, the University of Liberia. And we believe that as the biggest constituent member group of the University of Liberia, because the University of Liberia constitutes the Board of Trustees, the administration, the Faculty and Staff Association, as well as the Student Union, the University of Liberia Student Union. And we believe that the University of Liberia Student Union, the student population of the University of Liberia, is the biggest constituent group of the university. And as such, when decisions, especially decisions that affect students at the university, we believe that we're supposed to be a part and parcel of that process that will lead to the determination of a way forward. It was against that backdrop when we were invited by the UL Board of Trustees. We went and we gave them our own positions as student leaders. That meeting was represented fully by the students through also leadership and political parties on the university campus. We went to that meeting and we made our recommendations to the board. And we believe that the decision that was made by the board that was issued on June 19, 2024 is a decision that reflects recommendations that were made by all of the constituent groups at the University of Liberia. And it is that decision that the students stand with. It is the decision that we will uphold. It is the decision that we support as students of the university. And so after that decision was announced, few hours later, we saw on e-machine that the visitor of the university wanted to have conversation with constituent member of the university. To our surprise, we have now been invited to meet with the president. Only offer and also have our audience with the president. We see this as an affront to the student body at the University of Liberia. You cannot be making decisions in our absence. This university is not high school where you go and have PTA meeting. Here we say men and women of the University of Liberia. So you cannot make decisions that will affect us, and we cannot be part of the decision-making process. So we want to be clear and emphatic here that the only decision that we recognize as students of the university is the decision that was taken by the Board of Trustees. The Vanguard Unification Party and all her members, militants and stalwarts, cadres, and the over 20,000 students of the University of Liberia recognize and endorse the decision that was made by the Board of Trustees, because it was that decision that we were part of. We made recommendations to the board. We expressed our dissatisfaction over how the university was being run. No buses, the buildings are all dilapidated, everything here. And so, based on our recommendation and our interaction with the Year Board of Trustees, that decision was made, and it reflects our will and pleasure. And as such, as students of the University of Liberia, we stand by that decision. Now, if the visitor is having conversation with stakeholders, we expected that by now, we too would have been invited at the executive mansion, and we sit with the visitor and we discuss. So an attempt to make decision behind us, a decision that we are not a part of, but however will affect us, we are taking it back, and we want to be clear and emphatic that we will not adhere to any decision that we as a major constituent member of the university that we will not be part of any conversation that is expected to resolve whatever crisis at the university. We will not in any way, means or form adhere to any decision emanating from a process that we are not involved with. Especially so when we have been involved with a process that produce a decision from the Year Board of Trustees, we stand by that. Under no condition, under no circumstances, students at the University of Liberia must be overlooked in any decision-making process. We are men and women of the university. And so, ladies and gentlemen of the press, we want to say this and let it claim the attention of the visitor of the university that the students are unhappy with how the executive mansion is intending to deal with the situation at the University of Liberia. The students are a major constituent member, and as such should be at every level of decision making. Any attempt to exclude us out of the process, we will not take it lightly, and we will make sure that our voices are heard. We will make sure that we are part of any decision before we accept it. And that is the position of the Vanguard Unification Party, and we call this press briefing to be able to address that, to be able to add our view, to be able to communicate with the over 20,000 students of the university that people are making decisions for you in your absence, and we are not going to take that lightly. So let me say thanks again to the media for quickly responding to our call for the voices of over 20,000 students to be aired through the Revolutionary Indomitable Vanguard Unification Party.
That was the position of the Student Unification Party to the chairman of the Vanguard Party. At this time, we'll entertain at most 2 questions from members of the press. We'll take you.
So thank you. I'm Ubaris F. Yimpan to report for DMS Liberia. On yesterday, the the University of Liberia Faculty Association, via the University of Liberia Students Union, the Vanguard Students Union Party hired an extended cabinet meeting at the theater of the administrative complex that you guys are part of. And then key decisions were taken. Then they have drawn my conclusions with that. All of the decisions that are taken by the Board of Trustees upon which you guys were part of, how did you guys derive at those decisions, limit that all the decisions that were made, meeting with the president that you're not part of the board or you're not part of the team and with the president?
At the year cabinet meeting, the students were represented. And the conclusion of that meeting was that school is going to open effective on Monday. And that is a decision that we are part of, that is the decision that we support. Also, there was a directive issued by the board calling for the immediate resumption of academic activities. That is also something that we are part of and that is something that we support. So we are saying to the visitor and whoever out there that any other decision that will not reflect us as students of the university, we are not going to support it. Any decision that we are not a part of, we are not going to support it. That is our point. That is our argument.
Yeah, so thank you. Well, on your stand, you have given a conjunction directly to the president. You have given the president a no-go zone on your campus. Besides, you have said that you worked with the Board of Trustees at the University of Liberia, which of course, a few days ago met the president. What's the big deal if you are working with the board and the board designated members to have met the president? Why are you complaining? Additionally, don't you think there is not the reason that you have given the president no-go zone at the campus? How do you think he should invite you over at the office if you are giving no-go zone?
All right, thank you. So the Unification Party was very emphatic that until the issues on the campuses of the university are resolved, the president is unwanted on the campuses of the University of Liberia. We are clear about that. Now, with the issue of the board, like I said to you earlier on June 19, 2024, the board issued a directive instructing OFA and the UR administration to resume all academic activities effective immediately. That is the board's decision. That is something that we, as students of the university, stand by and support because we're part of that particular decision-making process. That is our argument. But after the board decision was announced, published to the public, then we saw another communication from the visitor inviting all stakeholders, including the board, OFA, as well as students. But as of this point, we have not had a sitting with the visitor. And so we want to say here
My question is, you have declared the president as unwanted on your campus.
On the
How
campus,
can he then invite you at his office if you don't want to see him?
But the president has not issued a directive to say the students are unwanted. In fact, on e-marshal, the statement said he was meeting with all stakeholders. So if he's dissatisfied over the fact that we say he's unwanted on the university campus, then let him instruct some of the media people to read that the students are unwanted on the grounds of the executive marshal. He has not done that, but rather issue a statement saying all stakeholders at the university are invited. Then we supposed to have audience with him, especially when he is discussing something in terms of making decisions that affect us. And so we want to be clear here that every decision that we were part of that has been announced to the public, especially to the UR Board of Trustees, said decision is what we endorse, and that is what we are going to support.
So now you you want to meet the president to discuss the issue?
No.
What's the point?
My point is, on June 19, the UR Board of Trustees issued a directive instructing and directing offer and the administration of the University of Liberia
You don't want to be the president for
to resume all academic activities effective immediately.
So if you are asked,
You don't want to be the president for
so if you are asked today
Yes.
to retract the statement that was made that the president is unwanted on campus, then after that retraction, you are invited to the executive mansion. Will you show up?
No, the president has not met the condition that was set before he can be wanted
In case
or
if you are asked,
invited on this university campus.
will you be
We
willing?
remain clear and we're not going back on our words. Until classes are resumed at the University of Liberia, the president is unwanted on the premises of the University of Liberia.
So, what would be the step failure on the president's path not to invite the student education party over to the executive mansion?
My brother, our issue is we were part of decisions that were made at the level of the UF Board of Trustees. Based on our discussions and recommendations to the UF Board of Trustees, decisions were taken and we stand by that. But we know that after this decision was made, the president requested that he wanted to meet, the visitor requested that he wanted to meet with stakeholders at the University of Liberia. And in as much as we have not met with the president yet to discuss that issue, we stand by the UF Board of Trustees decision that was issued on June 19. An attempt to alter or change anything in that will mean stiff resistance from the students of the University of Liberia.
So last Mr. President.
That was the
This is a very quick question.
the chairman of the Student Unification Party, and he was very emphatic. The party remained very, very emphatic and very clear that student leaders at the university will only participate and endorse decisions they participated in. We have the University of Liberia Student Union that represents the interests and aspirations of the students of the University of Liberia, and all constituent student organizations here represent the interests and aspirations of student leaders. Any decision where student leaders of the university are not represented does not represent the opinion of student leadership at the University of Liberia. This is the position of the Student Unification Party. I want to make that very clear, and the chairman has made it very definite and very clear. So in that light, we say thank you for coming. The Vanguard Party is now begging to see Mr. Bwaka. The Vanguard Party is telling Mr. Bwaka that any decision that emanates from the executive mansion thinks that this place is a high school where they can call for PTA meetings and make decisions for the men and women of the University of Liberia. Student leaders here will not respect it. Student leaders will only respect decisions where they participate in, they involve anyone. And this is why the Board of Trustees were designated to do that. The Board of Trustees were designated in line with the charter. The Board of Trustees represent the interests of the government here. Student leaders had a meeting with the Board of Trustees. Anyone who goes around to utter that decision in the name of that there are kids and children attending the University of Liberia, we want to say to them, there are men and women here who represent the aspirations and interests of the students of the University of Liberia.
And so therefore, that is the definite decision of the Vanguard Education Party. We are not going to go back on our words. We are not going to dilly-dally. We're not going to appear indecisive. We are clear and emphatic. Decisions that we are part of are decisions that we respect. Any other thing outside of that, the Student Education Party will resist and will resist it.
Thank you so much, folks.